Good afternoon, all. We shall be starting a very important topic today, that is actually Bode plot. And it is difficult. I found every year that it is difficult to make students understand, but the topic is not difficult. Okay, making students understand is little cumbersome, but with 2 3 practical sessions, eventually when the students practice it on similar graph paper, they understand it. If you try to understand, you will understand. If you don't try to understand, then it is difficult. But the same process, one numerical, you solve it. So there are mainly two kinds of numerical. One is for a single order system, that means s plus 2, s plus 5, s plus 7 at the numerator. Denominator is s plus 3, s plus 9, s plus 11, that kind of thing. Or you will be finding complex poles and complex zeros or complex polynomials in case of numerator and denominator. The same thing is given, that is GSHS is given as some polynomial kind of a thing. If there are square terms, then there is a second order Bode plot we have to plot. That becomes little difficult, but it is not difficult. Okay, only thing is you have to understand, and I have found a very good document, this one. So it's a 20-page document. I will be posting it today itself with this lecture. So please go through and give it time, because whenever you are finding any kind of system, suppose a IC is given to you, or you are designing a big system, you have to find frequency response. Frequency response means you have to input different kind of input frequencies to the system, and you have to check how much is the system output or system response or system gain. So I think you have seen the frequency response of CE amplifier. That was the first example you have seen, and you have found it. This is kind of it goes up like this, then a plateau kind of thing stays there, and then it comes down. So it's a inverted bucket kind of a thing. So for every frequency response, we'll be finding that kind of thing only, but sometimes it depends, because there is something called as a corner frequency. So s plus 3 into s plus 5, suppose I'm just giving you an example, s plus 3 into s plus 5 divided by s plus 2 into s plus 4. So GSHS is given. I'm giving you an example. At the numerator, there is s plus 3, s plus 5. Denominator, there are s plus 2 and s plus 4. So in this case, what you are finding is s plus 3. What is meant by s plus 3? That means at 3 radian per second, you are having a 0. Numerator, there is s plus 5. What is meant by that? That means at 5 radian per second, you are having a 0. So because they are the roots of numerator. So s plus 3, s plus 5 at the numerator means at 3 radian per second and at 5 radian per second, you are having zeros in the system. Denominator is suppose s plus 2, s plus 4. So understand each and everything I'm saying properly, and you should be able to tell like this, the way I'm explaining. And denominator is suppose s plus 2, s plus 4. What is meant by that? The roots are s plus 2 and s plus 4, means roots are at 2 and 4, negative whatever. That means there are corner frequencies at 2 radian per second and 4 radian per second. Now what is meant by corner frequency and all those things we will see, and what happens at the corner frequency, that also we will see. So first thing I told you, numerator is s plus 3, s plus 5, denominator is s plus 2, s plus 4. That means there are 4 corner frequencies. So 2 corner frequencies are for pole, that is 2 and 4 radian per second. 2 corner frequencies are there for 0, that means 3 and 5 radian per second. So this is the first thing you have to understand in Bode plot. Now instead of s plus 2 and s plus 4 at the denominator, if I give you suppose s square plus 4s plus 13. Okay, in that case, that Bode plot will be little different. I will not say difficult, will be little different than this very easy Bode plot. So one type of Bode plot you will find GSH is given as a numerator, also simple pole. Simple poles means first order pole. That is s plus 5, s plus 9 divided by s plus 2, s plus 6, that kind of thing. Another type of or second type of Bode plot you will be finding is numerator might be given as s plus 3, s plus 5. It's okay. Denominator might be given as some complex poles and zeros. That is s square plus 4s plus 13. Possible. That is s plus 2 plus 3j or s plus 2 minus 3j. Those kind of things might be given. In that case, there comes the concept of damping. And in Bode plot also, we have to show what is the effect of damping. Okay, so if it is s plus 5, s plus 9 divided by s plus 2, s plus 4, at that time damping does not come, because it's very simple kind of a pole, single order system. So there damping won't come. Damping comes whenever it is zeta is coming. Zeta comes for second order system. That means s square plus 4s plus 13 kind of thing. If it is in the numerator or in the denominator, then damping will come. So you have to mainly solve 2 kinds of numerical. First case, GSHS will be given like this, very simple. Maybe k divided by s plus 1. Maybe k into s plus 2, s plus 4 divided by S plus 3 into S plus 5, all simple poles, single ordered poles, those kind of thing. Second type of Bode plot, this kind of thing I told you, there will be S square plus 4S plus 13, or maybe S square plus 6S plus 21, those kind of things. So these are the two types of Bode plots we will see. And there are many numericals, but all numericals are repetitive. In case of a root locus, you found there were more types. Bode plot do not have that many types. Okay, so Bode plot is comparatively easier than root locus. But what problem it makes is you have to add slope. Okay, so there, whenever there is a single order zero, it will be having 20 dB per decade slope. I'm telling you again, remember this. If it's a first order zero, single order zero, that means it will be having 20 dB per decade. What is decade? What is dB? All those things will be explained. If it is first order pole, it will be having minus 20 dB per decade slope. That means the graph will be falling like this. That means with respect to frequency, amplitude will reduce. So pole means it is reducing actually the amplitude. Zero means it is actually increasing amplitude with respect to frequency. So these are some of the facts we have to understand. If it is first order pole, whenever I am saying first order pole or first order zero, for first order pole, it will be reducing amplitude, that is minus 20 dB per decade. In case of first order zero, it will be plus 20 dB per decade. In case of second order pole, it will be minus 40 dB per decade. In case of second order zero, it will be plus 40 dB per decade. In case of third order pole, which is generally not asked in the exam, in case of third order pole, it will be minus 60 dB per decade. In case of zeros, third order, it will be plus 60 dB per decade. So every order, increment in order, will add to the slope as 20 dB. You know what is meant by dB. dB is nothing but decibel. Decibel is the ratio of output upon input, a log of that multiplied by 20. So if I give you output as 5, so any system is generating output as 5 volt, and input is given as 2. Okay, so what is the ratio form gain? Ratio form gain is 5 by 2, that is 2.5. In that case, we have to convert into dB. So how can we get the dB gain of voltage? So again, I'm telling you, input voltage for any system is 2 volt, output voltage is 5 volt. Whatever system is given to you, GSHS, again the same thing here. GSHS will be given open loop transfer function. You have to predict for closed loop transfer function, system gain and system stability. All those things you have to predict. Okay, but by frequency domain method. Previously, in case of root locus, we found the gain, omega marginal, and all these things. In this case, we'll be finding gain margin and phase margin. Okay, and I had explained what is gain margin, phase margin to you initially while I was explaining stability, but at that time I told you that these topics will be discussed in detail in Bode plot. So for every Bode plot, we would try to find how much is the gain margin and how much is the phase margin. Okay, what is meant by margin? Gain margin means suppose initially the gain is 5, or suppose initially the gain is 0.5. Generally gain 1, okay, generally gain 1 ratio form is called as critical gain. So gain is less than 1, system is stable. In case of Bode plot, you have to understand that gain is less than 1, system is stable, and gain is greater than 1, system is unstable. Gain is greater than 1 means output is greater than input. In that case, system becomes unstable. Gain is less than 1, decimal 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, 0.01, all those things are stable. So what is the criticality condition? Gain less than 1, system stable. Gain equal to 1, system is critically stable. Gain greater than 1, system is unstable. So this is called as the stability condition for gain in case of Bode plot. And in case of Bode plot, for every given GSHS, you have to draw two plots. One is the gain plot, another is the phase plot. Okay, and stability you can find out from gain plot also. Stability you can find out from phase plot also. What is the gain stability condition in case of Bode plot? That is system gain less than 1, system is stable. For whichever frequency system gain, generally we find that the gain changes with respect to frequency. So for certain part of frequency, you will be finding the system gain is less than 1. For certain part of frequency, you will be finding system gain is greater than 1. Okay, and there is a certain point where the gain is exactly 1. Okay, so we have seen in case of root locus also, for initially smaller value of input frequency is given in radian per second. So for smaller value of input frequencies, we are finding that system gain is less than 1. Less than 1 means it can be 0.5, 0.7. What is the boundary? 0.99, that is the boundary. So as long as the gain is less than 1, system is called to be stable. And whenever the system gain is exactly 1, that is actually omega marginal. Okay, that is called as K critical. we call that system is critically stable. Okay, and whenever system gain ratio form, that is output by input, is becoming greater than 1, system becomes unstable. So we will find in case of Bode plot that as frequency is increasing, not every time like that, it can happen reverse also, but generally what happens is initially the system gain is less, then system gain increases as the frequency increases, input frequency increases. So what is the device in the lab? So this is a very big question we ask because we check students understanding. There is a device called a signal generator or function generator. Okay, so you are connecting the same 2-volt sine wave, but you are increasing the frequency of that input. Initially, you give 2-volt peak sine wave 10 hertz and check how much is the output. Then you give same 2-volt sine wave input. 2-volt means 2-volt peak sine wave input, but for 20 hertz. Then give 30 hertz. Then give 100 hertz. Okay, same system, same system. Input amplitude is also same, but you are giving different frequencies, and you are finding that initially the system gain will increase slowly. Okay, then at a certain time system gain will go to peak, and then it will stay there in peak for certain input frequencies, maybe from 1 kilohertz to 5 kilohertz. System gain is maximum. Output by input is equal to 5 by 2, that is 2.5. And after a certain frequency, output voltage is decreasing. So initially the gain increases like this. X-axis is always frequency, that you have to remember. Okay, so x-axis frequency, you are increasing frequency, keeping the input sinusoidal voltage amplitude constant. You have to increase the frequency, and you are finding that system response is becoming bigger. That means output is increasing. That means the system is reacting. I'm repeating the word, the system response is reacting with respect to the frequency. Okay, that means as you are increasing frequency, system gain is increasing. Okay, and at a certain frequency range, maybe between 1 kilohertz to 5 kilohertz, system gain is maximum. So what is that thing called? A very lame language, it's called as bandwidth. So bandwidth is something where you are finding a chunk of the power. Okay, so whatever is the transmission power that you are finding very high inside the system bandwidth. Okay, and after 5 kilohertz, again you are finding if you are increasing the frequency, again the output is reducing. So this is kind of a characteristic. So increasing, then plateau, and then decreasing. So these are the kind of a characteristic, frequency response characteristic we find. Bode plot will not be exactly like that. Okay, so Bode plot is having some kind of corner frequencies, and Bode plot will be having gain margin, phase margin, and all those things we will find out from Bode plot. So this document, whatever is there, it's a 20-page document. I will try to cover that thing up. And but before that, one very small thing was pending from root locus. Actually, I have not posed the question, but that thing I want to explain first, and then we will go for starting of the Bode plot. So 27 students have joined. I think this is enough. More than that is not expected. So let us see what is the function of, or what is the effect of addition of pole and zeros in root locus. So keep Bode plot for time being out of your mind. Concentrate on the last topic of root locus. So initially I am giving you a GSHS k divided by s plus 2. That means this is a single pole system, and s is equal to -2. You are finding one single root in the left hand side of s plane. So please switch into root locus. I am not telling Bode plot again. So what we will do is we will keep on inserting poles into this. So I have given you one numerical. I have said that in the lecture number 40. So initially I gave you some GSHS k by s plus 2, I think. Then I had inserted one pole. I checked what is the root locus like. Then I inserted another pole. Then I inserted another pole. So from one pole system I have made it 4-pole system. So initially whenever it is k by s plus 2, let us see what happens if I am inputting or inserting more and more poles to the system, and then I will be inserting more and more zeros to the system. Now I am telling you the Maha Mantra of root locus. Addition of pole or insertion of pole decreases the system stability. That we have to prove from here. And addition of zeros increases the system stability. Obviously both pole and zero are left hand sided pole and zero. So poles and zeros are not right hand sided. We are inserting a stable pole and stable zeros only, which are there in the left hand side. That is the first assumption. And second assumption is we are inserting a real pole and real zero. That means not complex poles and all we are doing. Complex poles also will be having the same effect. But just to explain this part, separate part will be created in experiment 7b. One question, that is the last question, and you have to explain with respect to 8 GSHS. So I have already given you the GSHS. Those who had attended last day's lecture number 40, I have posed all those GSHS. So you have to show 8 root locus, and you have to explain how the stability decreased by inserting pole. So from single pole system like this k by s plus 2, I had gone for a 4 pole system, and then I kept on inserting zeros, and I brought back the root locus which actually went in the right side of the S plane. By inserting zeros, I brought it back again to the left hand side of S plane. So the whole thing you have to write in your own language after plotting the 8 graph. So after every graph you have to say how is the stability increasing or decreasing depending on inserting pole and zeros. So some document I have prepared, so it's a kind of a 5-page document. So let's see effect of addition of poles. So initial system is k by s plus 2. I will make it little complex. What I have done is I have added another pole to the system. So you can say here, I think this thing is visible. So in the second case, you have added s into s plus 2. So you have inserted a pole. Added is not a right word. What I would say is inserted. Okay. So initially the system was k by s plus 2. Now I have so whenever it was k by s plus 2, this was the figure A. Okay, so this document also will be shared with you. Please read it first, and then you prepare your document in the guide of this document, whatever will be shared with you. So in lecture number 41, I will share this document as well as Bode plot document. So lecture 41 is the cusp of root locus and Bode plot. Okay, all the initial of Bode plot will be given here in that 20-page document. Go through today itself, because tomorrow onwards we will take speed. And Bode plot we will finish in 4 to 5 lectures. Let us see. Okay, so k by s plus 2. K by s plus 2 means there will be a pole here at minus 2, and the root locus will be single root locus. It will start at minus 2 and go to minus infinity. Extremely stable pole. Even if you keep any value of k, this k by s plus 2 system, it will be always stable. But what is the root locus? Root locus is on real of s axis. So or real of LHS side of S plane. So this is the most stable form of root locus. It is starting on real axis and going to the infinity, and this is the most stable form of root locus. So k by s plus 2 is a ever absolutely stable system, and root locus is not leaving the real axis. That means it will be producing always a this kind of a response. So there is no oscillation present and all this thing. So very stable response it is going to give. Next step, what I have done is I have inserted a pole which is at origin. So k by s plus 2 now becomes k by s into s plus 2. Okay, so this is the one pole, this is another pole. We found that if you are increasing k slowly, this origin pole will shift to the leftward, and this pole at minus 2, it will be shifting to the rightward. And then at a certain part, and then at a certain point, they will be colliding at minus 1, and then they will diverge and go towards the imaginary axis. So two zeros are kept in infinity, and asymptotic angles also will be 90° and 270°. So they will be going towards infinity 0 like this. This root locus, that is figure B, this is also stable because the whole root locus is lying in the left hand side of S plane. But relatively, this system k by s into s plus 2, relatively it is less stable. I'm repeating, both the system are stable, that is k by s plus 2 and k by s into s plus 2, both are stable. But k by s plus 2, this is highly stable, and this is more stable because here the root locus does not leave the real axis. Okay, the root locus is on the real axis. That means there is no oscillatory response in time domain. That means the system will be highly stable. Whereas if you are saying this k by s into s plus 2, this is also stable, but this is little less stable than k by s plus 2. That means addition or insertion of this another pole which is there at origin has reduced the system stability a little bit. Though both the systems are stable, but k by s plus 2 is more stable because it is not going in the imaginary axis. But k by s into s plus 2, yes, it is going in the imaginary direction. Imaginary direction means actually this system k by s into s plus 2 is with more energy. More energy will be producing oscillatory response. Why oscillatory response? Because you will be finding that there may be minus 1 plus 2j, minus 1 minus 2j, or minus 1 plus 3j, minus 1 minus 3j. Those kind of poles will be here, and those poles will be generating damped oscillation in the time domain. Now in the third case, what we are doing is we are adding another pole to the system, which is s plus 1.5. So now what is the pole zero pole plot looks like? So between 0 and minus 1.5, there will be a set of unstable poles or conditionally stable poles, and -2 to -infinity. So this pole will be ever stable. Okay, so now we have seen this kind of thing, that is two poles which are there, they will be coming to each other and they will collide with each other, and then they will go towards the geomega axis, and at a certain point they will cut the geomega axis. This is called as k marginal, frequency is omega marginal. So from 0 to k marginal, system is stable, and from k marginal onwards, gain, system becomes unstable. So with this three, and I have added another, okay, I have added another pole. So there you will be finding that this -2 and maybe -4, there is another root locus with like this, so they also will be going to the negative infinity. So adding another pole, what it will do is it will be generating another set of root locus, but here in the third case, if k marginal is 50, in the fourth case, when I'm adding another pole, that k marginal will reduce. Okay, so from 50, maybe it will come to 30. So as k marginal is reducing, means the whole system is going more and more towards instability. So that is what you have to find by using MATLAB. So here, such four diagrams you have to generate. For first case, I will give you all those four GSHS. I think I have given already in that lecture. So first case, it is like this, k by s plus 2. Second case, k by s into s plus 2. And this is both are stable. But the first case is highly stable. Second case, it is less stable. Third case, whenever I am adding, the system is becoming conditionally stable. Let's say for k marginal is equal to 50. Fourth case, another pole, whenever you are inserting, you will be finding that there is coming another set of root locus here. So four root locus will be going towards infinity, and in that case the k marginal will get reduced compared to the third case. By using MATLAB, very easily you can find out this thing. So there is also a very favorite question of the examiners. So they will be asking, explain the effect of addition of real poles in the system. All poles are stable, but whenever they are put together, they are forming a system might not be totally stable, or system might not be absolute stable. So for two real pole, system is stable. For three real pole, system becomes conditionally stable. For four real pole, system is conditionally stable, but k marginal reduces, and as k marginal is reducing, that means relative stability is reducing. Now from that four pole system, what I am doing is four pole and 1 0. Okay, so you have to do that. You have to do that to convince yourself first. As soon as you are doing 4 pole 1 0, you'll be finding that it will look more like this system. Okay, so 4 pole 1 0 system root locus will be like this. Left side there will be a little change, but there will be like this kind of thing. So only the right side, two poles, they will collide each other at breakaway point and they will go to the infinity. So in this case, in the fourth case, there are 4 poles. In the fifth case, there is one real 0 and 4 poles. You will be finding that k marginal should increase in case of fifth case compared to the fourth case. I will repeat. Third case, whatever is the k marginal value with 3 poles. Fourth case with 4 pole, k marginal value will reduce. Okay, that means what you are finding is the relative stability is reducing. What do you do in the fifth step? You are adding some 0. As soon as you are adding the 0, you'll be finding that for 4 pole, whatever root locus was here, those things will vanish. Okay, then it will look like this. Okay, in the right side. Left side here, there will be a pole 0 couple and all those things you can find out. So 4 pole and 1 0 system, you have to draw the root locus. In MATLAB you do, and accordingly you write the result here in the, or you write or type the result, and that you have to submit as a experiment number 7b, one part of it. Then is 6 poles, sorry, 4 pole and 2 0 system. 4 pole and 2 0 system, you will be finding it will look like this. It will look like something, whatever B figure is there. Okay, so here it is only 2 pole system, but 4 pole 2 0 system also will look like this, somewhat like this. That means compared to 4 pole 1 0 system, which will look this like figure C, 4 pole 2 0 system will look somewhat like this figure B. 4 pole 3 0 system will look somewhat like figure A. That means as you are inserting the zeros, the system will come again back towards the more and more stability. So what we can conclude is adding or inserting the poles reduce the system stability. Okay, it reduces the k marginal value also. And as we are inserting the zeros, we will find that it starts behaving more stable. So what is the addition of zeros? So first what they have done is, first they have taken it to the third degree of, or third order denominator of GSHS. After that they have added 1 0. Okay, so this is k by s into s plus 1 s plus 4. So k by s into s plus 1 s plus 4 also will look like this. Then what they are doing is they are adding a 0 in that. Okay, as soon as they are adding a 0, what you will find is the root locus will change its shape. It will look like this. Okay, so left side this figure you are finding, this is this figure A. This figure A is for only 3 pole system. There is no 0. As soon as you are entering one 0 in the system, you will be finding that this minus 4. So they have taken a little bit different GSHs, but theme is the same. Previously this was at -2 and it was going to infinity. So in this case there are 3 poles. Where are the real axis root locus? Between 0 and -1, and between -4 to infinity, minus infinity. Now as soon as you add a 0 here at -5, this pole or this root locus will start at -4 and will end at -5. And there are 2 root locus. So here there are 3 poles, 0, -1 and -4, but one root locus is ending at -5. Okay, so how many root locus will go to infinity? It is p minus z, 3 minus 1 is equal to 2. You are finding here. Okay, so these are the 2 root locus which are going towards infinity. So suddenly you are finding that in the first figure there is k marginal, there is omega marginal, and it was a conditionally stable system. But in the right side, as soon as you have added a 0 or inserted a 0, you are finding that one root locus is ending at that 0, and 2 other root locus, they are not crossing the j omega axis and going to the right, rather they are becoming parallel with respect to j omega axis and they are going towards infinity. So from this figure A, which is conditionally stable, figure B becomes absolutely stable. This is the effect of inserting 0. Then what you are doing, you are inserting another pole. Okay, so now there are 2 poles. This is another pole. Now the 0 is inserted here. Okay, so previous case the 0 was inserted in the left side of the pole. Now the 0 is inserted in the right side of the pole. So what you are finding is this -4 will be shifted and it will get ended at -2. And this 0 and -1, they are again becoming more stable likewise. And if the 0 is inserted here more closer, you are finding that root locus, the whole root locus is shifting more towards in the left side. Okay, so as you are adding the 0 closer to the j omega axis, the root locus will get shifted deep into the j omega axis. So these are the 4 cases. They are actually showing you the effect of adding 0 at different positions. Okay, so first case, you are seeing the first case. In the first case, this is the pole. These are 2 poles and this is 1 pole. So this is conditionally stable system. Next case, you are finding 0 is inserted in the left side of -4 and root locus has become now absolutely stable. Next case, you are shifting this position of 0. So instead of -5, you are putting the 0 at -2 and you are finding the system has become more stable. And then finally, you are putting the 0 here very close to the pole at origin and you have found that root locus has shifted deep into j omega axis. That means A, B, C, D, if you see, D is the most stable system. D is the most stable because here the root locus is too much deep into j omega axis. The C is comparatively less stable than D. Okay, B is comparatively less stable than C, and A is unstable, or this is conditionally stable. This is what is the effect of adding 0. So this is one thing you can show. Next, I have written. So what I have written is GSH is equal to k by s into s plus 2. This is the root locus, what you can see. Okay, then I have added another thing, s plus 5, and you can see the logic that I have developed. This is the way you can draw. So this becomes now conditionally stable. And next, insert a 0. As soon as you are inserting a 0 in the third system, so third system is k by s into s plus 5. Here, if you are inserting a 0, again at s plus 7, you'll be finding that again root locus is actually shifting. So this was actually conditionally stable. As soon as you are adding a 0, you'll be finding that root locus will shift in the left hand side. So this I have done with respect to 3 poles or something, but in the experiment 7b, I will ask for a 4 pole system. So initially 1 pole system, 2 pole system, 3 pole, 4 pole system is highly conditionally stable. K margin is very less. Now I will keep on inserting zeros, and how shall I get the stability is brought back, or root locus is brought back to deep into j omega axis. So this is will be your last work in experiment 7b. Now I am starting with the frequency response of system. Frequency response of system by using Bode plot. So let us enter the Bode plot thing, and actually what we are doing is what we are trying to find is actually system stability. Okay, So how can we find system stability by Bode plot? That I am trying to show you. And how the Bode plot looks like. So let us again go with my handwritten notes, and I have tried to explain what is the effect of gain margin, and this question is asked very frequently, that relative stability, gain margin, phase margin from Bode plot you have to find. And for Bode plot you have to use semi-log graph paper. So from tomorrow onwards, whenever you are coming and sitting for this lecture, you have to sit with semi-log graph paper and calculator and pencil and scale. I'm repeating, tomorrow onwards, whenever you are coming for this lecture, you have to sit with semi-log graph paper and pencil and scale and calculator. Otherwise you will not be able to understand. So today I'll be just giving you how the relative stability is found out, or gain margin and phase margin is found out from Bode plot. Okay, so I'm not going to tell you any steps today. I will be just telling you what is the final product, or what is the final effect, or how does the Bode plot for any system looks like, and from there how can you find gain margin and phase margin, and what is the significance of finding gain margin and phase margin. Very simply I'll tell you. So today just now in this lecture only I told you that if ratio gain, so there are two gains, one is called as ratio gain, output upon input, another is called as dB gain. Okay, so if the ratio gain is 1, that means output is equal to input. Now you have to be careful. Okay, you have to remember this thing, or you can do in your calcium, you can check. If the ratio gain is 1, that means system output is equal to system input. Suppose I have giving 2-volt DC input and I am getting 2-volt DC output. So how much is the ratio gain? 2 by 2, that is equal to 1. Convert that into dB, you will be finding 0 dB, because log of 1 is 0, multiply by 20. So how to convert any ratio into dB form? It is 20 log V output by V input if it is voltage. If it is ratio of power, because power actually is voltage square, so for power dB calculation is 10 log P output by P input. So ये सब जो formulas है, ये सब लिख के ले लो. All these things you have done, but you might not have cared much. Okay, so now onwards you have to remember all these things. So if it is voltage ratio, output voltage by input voltage, then how to convert into dB? So output voltage upon input voltage, log of that multiplied by 20. Okay, so if I tell you that V output is equal to V input, means what? Ratio gain is equal to 1. Ratio gain is equal to 1 means in dB it will be 0 dB. Okay. What is meant by 10 dB? Okay, what is meant by 10 dB? If or what is meant by 20 dB? Okay, so 20 dB means if I am saying that log of 10. Okay, so log of 10 means it is 1. Log of 10. What is meant by 10? 10 is nothing but output up by input is equal to 10. That means if I am giving 5-volt input, I am getting 50-volt output. Okay, if I'm giving 5-volt input, I'm getting 50-volt output. In that case, ratio, that is V output by V input, is equal to 50 by 5 is equal to 10. Okay, so if the ratio gain is 10, in that case you will be finding that will be called as a 20 dB, because log of 10 is equal to 1 and 20 log of V output by V input, that means 20 log of 10, that means 20 into 1, that is equal to 20 dB. On the contrary, if the output is 10 times less, okay, output is 10 times less, that means V output by V input is equal to 1 by 10. 1 by 10 means log of 0.1. Log of 0.1 is minus 1. So these are the things you have to understand. Log of 10. Log of 10 means output by input is 10 times. That means output is increasing compared to input by 10 times by the system. So in that case, it will be called as a 20 dB system. So 20 dB system means if you give any input, it will be multiplied by 10 times at the output. It's a minus 20 dB system. What is meant by minus 20 dB system? It's attenuation system. That means whatever input you are giving, output will be 10 times less. That means what is V output by V input? V output by V input is 0.1. Log of 0.1 is minus 1 and 20 log of 0.1 is minus 20. So whenever I am saying it's a pole, pole means first order pole. Generally all the poles I give you 1 by s plus 1. How much is the gain? Gain is minus 20 dB per decade. What is decade? I will tell you. Whenever it's a first order pole, let it be 1 by s plus 1, let it be 1 by s plus 5, let it be 1 by s plus 100. All these are first order pole. Okay, they will be providing you generally attenuation. So pole gives attenuation. If it is 0, 0 means at the numerator it is there. S plus 1, S plus 5, S plus 10, S plus 100. So zeros actually gives you gain. Okay. So whenever I am saying it's a single order pole S plus 1, how much is the gain? 20 dB per decade. Okay, so dB means y-axis, decade means x-axis. So y by x is nothing but the gain. Okay, that is output upon input. So every pole, every single order pole. So these are the things you remember at present. Every single order pole gives you 20 dB per decade attenuation. So if there are 3 poles, means 20 dB, 20 dB, 20 dB. So 60 dB per decade attenuation, or minus 60 dB per decade. Just take it as face value. Whatever I'm telling, just remember that. So if I say there are 5 poles, 5 single order pole, how much will be the total attenuation? Minus 100 dB per decade. If there are 4 poles, 4 single order poles, how much will be the attenuation? 4 into 20. So जो भी है multiply करो 20 से. If it is pole, it is minus attenuation. If it is 0, it is plus, that is gain. If I say there are 3 zeros, how much will be the gain? 3 into 20, that is 60 dB per decade. If there are 2 poles, how much will be the attenuation? 2 into 20, that is minus 40 dB per decade. So single pole gives you 20 dB per decade attenuation. Single zero gives you 20 dB per decade gain. कैसे दिखता है? I will show you. Second thing, whenever output and input they are same, so V output by V input, it is 1. What is the dB gain? Log of 1, that is equal to 0 into 20, it is 0. So whenever I am saying output is equal to input, okay, where will you plot it? You have to plot it on 0 axis. So y-axis is gain, generally root locus is plotted like this, y-axis is dB, and x-axis is frequency, because you are actually plotting the frequency domain plot. Okay, and there are actually 2 graphs. There are actually 2 graphs, means one is the amplitude plot and another is the frequency plot. Together they are actually Bode plots. So whenever I am asking you, giving you a GSHS system, S plus 1 into S plus 5 divided by S plus 13 into S plus 19, maybe you have to draw actually 2 graphs. One is the resultant amplitude plot, another is the resultant phase plot. And from there, so how to draw those plots, that is the main art that I will teach you. But मान लो कि वो draw किया हुआ है, it is already drawn. From there, what are the inference you can draw? That is very important. So generally people teach us how to draw a Bode plot. Okay, so उतना हो गया, exam में draw कर दिया, खत्म हो गया. That is not main thing. If you are drawing a Bode plot, from there what can you find out? That is what I tell you. Okay, that is written in the book also, but student don't care. Bode plot draw किया हो गया, 10 में 10 mark मिल गया, खत्म. No, how to draw it? MATLAB can draw it. Okay, in one equation. You have seen R locus. Okay, in 1 second it can give you the plot. That is not important. Bode plot, after drawing, what conclusion you can draw from that? So what conclusion you can draw from that is called as gain margin and phase margin. For this frequency, whether the system gain is greater than 1, whenever I am saying 1 means ratio form, or 0 dB. Whenever I am saying 1 means 0 dB, you have to understand. So whether at any given frequency, the system gain is greater than 0 dB or less than 0 dB. If the system is greater than 0 dB, 0 dB means 1. Okay, 1 means output is equal to input. So if the system gain is greater than 0 dB or system gain is greater than 1, 1 means ratio, that means system is unstable. If the system gain is less than 0 dB or system gain is less than 1, that means 0.7, 0.8 means system is stable. Okay, so this is what we have to find out. Or if the system is stable, let's say system gain is 0.8. Okay, when will it become equal to 1? So system gain is 0.8. 0.8 means log of 0.8. If you do, it will come negative. Log of decimal becomes negative. So multiply by 20, it will become further negative. So whenever you are finding that system gain is in decimal, that means output is less than input. That means system is stable system. Whenever system gain is equal to 1, that means system is critically stable. Whenever system gain is greater than 1, system becomes unstable. So for a certain frequency, suppose system gain is 0.8, then you are increasing the frequency. Okay, you are finding that at a certain gain, higher frequency, system gain becomes 1. So this 0.8 to 1, this journey, you are going towards instability. Further you increase the frequency, system gain becomes greater than 1. Okay, so suppose for a certain frequency, system gain is 0.8, and increased frequency, system gain becomes 1. So 0.8 to 1. Okay, how much is this journey? This is the journey for gain margin. So how much frequency should I increase so that a stable system will become unstable? That I can find out from Bode plot. That if you are within this frequency range, system gain will be less than 1. System will be stable. But if you are increasing system frequency, input frequency more than this, system will become unstable. So I can tell you one range. Within that, if you are keeping your system input frequency, system will behave stably. More than that frequency, system gain will go to instability or instability. So that is called as gain margin. Okay. So now I'm going to show you without constructing the Bode plot. I'm going to show you how does for any system. So what is the transfer function? We are not saying GSHS. We are not saying, but for some transfer function system, Bode plot looks like this. So let us just read the theory. So relative system stability can be found out from Bode plot based system frequency response. This is frequency response analysis. That means x-axis will be frequency, very wide range of frequency. That means starting from zero point 0.1 radian per second up to maybe 1 million radian per second. That's why we have to use semi-log graph paper. I think you have used semi-log graph paper while plotting the frequency response of transistors. Otherwise I will explain also. Okay, so it's a very huge wide range of input frequencies that we are inputting. That's why we are taking the semi-log graph paper. So relative system stability can be found out from Bode plot. Relative stability means for one frequency system is stable, for higher frequency it is unstable, or maybe for lower frequency it is unstable, for higher frequencies it is stable. So the stability criterion is changing. That means system gain is changing. For lower frequency, system gain is low. For higher frequency, system gain is high, greater than 1. So there comes a certain frequency between this lower and higher, where the system gain is crossing the 1 amplitude. So that is called as a gain crossover frequency. So frequency like omega marginal you have found, omega marginal it is happening K marginal. Okay, so K marginal is happening at omega marginal means omega marginal ke thoda kam system will be stable. Omega marginal से थोड़ा ज़्यादा input frequency system will be unstable. So that is called as gain crossover frequency, omega GC. So what is the criteria for stability? System gain in ratio form should be less than 1, or in dB form it should be less than 0 dB. More than 1 gain or more than 0 dB gain, system becomes unstable. This is the amplitude characteristic. What is meant by phase characteristic? Phase characteristic means GSHS is given, you have to substitute S is equal to J omega, different frequencies you can substitute, and you can find out what is the overall phase of the system, or what is angle of GSHS. So first you find mod of GSHS, that is the amplitude of GSHS, that should be less than 1 for system stability, and if that is greater than 1, system is unstable. Then find angle of GSHS, S is equal to J omega, you have to substitute, and find how much is the angle. If the angle is less than minus 180, so minus 180 is the critical phase instability line. System phase means what? Output is leading or lagging the input. So if I say that a system phase is 45 degree plus 45 degree, what is meant by that? It means that the output leads the input by 45 degree. So whenever I am saying phase means 45 degree means output will be leading the input by 45 degree. Capacitor is having a leading power factor. Leading power factor means in that case you'll be finding that the current is leading the voltage by 40 degree, by 45 degree. So the way the current is leading the voltage is called as a power factor. So if I'm saying a system is having phase 45, means output will lead input by 45 degree. So if I say a system is having phase of minus 180, that means output will be out of phase compared to the input. So what is meant by minus 180? It is out of phase. 180 is out of phase, but minus 180 is also out of phase. In that case, the output will lag input by minus 180 degree. So what is the phase stability criterion? Amplitude stability criterion is amplitude should be less than 1 ratio form or less than 0 dB. Phase stability criterion is phase of the system should be greater than minus 180. Greater than minus 180 means minus 179. In negative है वो ख्याल रखना. Greater than minus 179 phase is stable phase. Minus 150, minus 145, minus 30, minus 90, 0, 10, 100, 200, 700, all the systems are stable. But if the system phase becomes less than minus 180, that means minus 181, minus 200, minus 210, minus 230, all these are unstable phase. Okay, so what is the gain stability condition? Gain should be less than 1 or less than 0 dB. What is the phase stability condition? The system phase should be greater than minus 180. On minus 180, we can say it is critically stable. Okay, and less than minus 180, system becomes unstable. So these are the two very important things. लिख के रखो और याद रखो whatever you do. In this Bode plot, we are plotting first. How to plot, I will show you. Here we are actually plotting the gain margin and phase margin. This is a very important diagram, and exactly this diagram you have to reproduce in case of exam, and you have to explain many things. Okay, so this diagram is seen. Top generally we draw the Bode plot in similar graph paper. Whenever I give to you and I give a GSHS, you have to draw this. This is the amplitude plot of Bode plot. Generally, if we are asking a question for 10 marks, 6 to 7 marks is given for drawing the amplitude of the Bode plot. Okay, so GSH is equal to, suppose, S plus 1, S plus 3 divided by S plus 9 into S plus 10. Likewise, you have to draw this kind of plot. So for every corner frequency, S plus 1, this kind of pole will happen, this kind of down. Okay, so here there is another pole, it will be coming down. So this may be minus 40 dB per decade, this may be minus 20 dB per decade. So those are slopes. How to draw it, I will tell you. But take it for time being that this is the amplitude Bode plot. And this is the 0 dB. So what is there in the amplitude Bode plot y-axis? It is dB gain. dB means 20 log V output by V input. X-axis it is omega radian per second. Okay, so how to draw it, we will show you. And this frequency is called as omega GC. It is written here, just check. That means gain crossover frequency. What is meant by gain crossover frequency? This is the frequency at which the system gain goes from minus to plus or plus to minus. So it can, here it is, the gain is becoming greater than 0 dB to less than 0 dB. This gain is called as omega GC. Sometimes this amplitude plot can go from below to above. That is also possible. So wherever the system gain touches the 0 dB line, that is called as gain crossover frequency. The crossover can take place from negative gain to positive gain like this, or it can be from positive gain to negative gain. Okay, whenever it crosses the zero axis, that thing is called as omega GC. GC stands for gain crossover. So this is kind of an amplitude plot that you have drawn. So in the case, you can see this initial part is called as unstable gain region. Why? Because in this case, the system gain is greater than 0 dB. And whenever system gain is greater than 0 dB, it is called as unstable gain. Okay. Here, it is called as critically stable gain at omega GC. And after that, you are finding that gain is less than 0 dB. That means this is a stable gain region. And as the frequency is exceeding, suppose gain will stay here. So it has reached steady state. So gain will stay below, and parallelly it will go to the omega is equal to infinity. So here, this is a Bode plot, amplitude plot, which is initially unstable, then the instability reducing as frequency is increasing. Then at omega GC, let's say it is maybe 10 radian, okay, 10 radian per second. At 10 radian per second, omega GC, system is crossing the instability towards stability, because at this point, omega GC, the gain is equal to 0. Okay, and after that, system is staying in the stable region only. Okay, I guess there is no doubt. So this kind of from the Bode plot, we have to find this kind of omega GC. Now somebody can say, sir, omega GC here, and again this with respect to increase in the frequency, the GSH is in such a way that it again will increase and it will again enter the unstable region. Possible. Very much possible. I'm not saying that omega GC always is 1. So for different systems, there may be omega GC 1, omega GC 2 or something. So complexity I can keep on increasing at your will. You also can define a GSHS where it will start at unstable, then it will cross, come to the stable region, again stay there for a certain time, again it will go to instability. Possible. Okay, so nothing is impossible, but here I'm talking about a simple system. So this is omega GC, and this is actually what we are doing root locus for. ये हम कोई बताता नहीं है, ये last में भी बताते नहीं है लोग. This is what we are going to do. Next is what? This is the phase plot. Phase plot, you are finding that at initial frequency it is starting at somewhere negative. Suppose this is minus 20 degree or something. Then you are finding as frequency is increasing, phase is reducing. Okay, and at somewhere here, let's say omega GC I called as suppose 10 radian per second. Let's say it is 50 radian per second. This is called as phase crossover frequency. What is meant by phase crossover frequency? Very important thing. ये जो diagram है दिमाग में बिठा लेना. Okay, so phase crossover frequency means initially you are finding from 0 to this 50 radian per second. I've just assumed the value of omega pc, phase crossover frequency. PC stands for phase crossover, GC stands for gain crossover, and omega stands for frequency. So from 0 to 50 radian per second, I'm assuming omega pc to be 50. System is stable, system phase is stable. Okay, system is stable. No, system become unstable gain wise at 10 radian per second. But then also phase wise system was stable, because at 10 radian per second at omega gc, you found that phase is equal to minus 130 degree. So whatever is this value, just plot directly below and find how much is the phase. Phase is minus 130 degree. Some arbit value मैंने लिया है, arbitrary. So from numerical you can find this value. Is the system is unstable here? Answer is no. So whenever the gain is crossing and becoming from unstable to stable, okay, so initially the gain was unstable, but phase was stable. Okay, at this point you are finding system gain is becoming stable. And at this point, how much is the phase? Phase is minus 130 degree. How much phase has to be reduced to reach to the instability? Till 50 degrees there, because phase becomes unstable as minus 180, but it is at minus 130. Still there is 50 degree. That is called as phase margin. Very important thing. Okay, so at gain crossover, you just find how much is the phase, minus 130. Is it unstable? No. Phase become unstable at minus 180. So at omega GC, at gain crossover, whatever is the stability in phase, that is called as a phase margin. So as gain crossover, you are finding phase is minus 130, stable phase, stable by 50 degree. What is 50 degree? This is 50 degree higher than the phase instability, that means minus 180. That means here phase margin is positive, stable system. Same thing you have to find out, that you are finding that at a certain frequency, let's say 50 radian per second, the phase is becoming unstable. Phase is crossing minus 180 line and going in the negative direction. But at minus 180 phase, which is occurring at 50 radian per second, check the gain. How much is the gain here? Gain is stable. Gain is stable. Why? Because it is below 0 dB. It is minus 7 dB. You can convert it into ratio form, and you'll be finding that this is less than 1. Less than 1 amplitude means it's a stable amplitude. So very important thing you have to check, at omega GC you have to find phase. It should be greater than minus 180. At omega PC you have to find gain. It should be less than 0 dB. That means between this region, now we are coming to the main part, main chunk, most important thing. What should be the system running frequency, or what should be the bandwidth for which the system is defined, or what is the bandwidth of frequency for which the system is stable? Answer is omega GC to omega PC. Means you are finding between omega GC to omega PC. What is the amplitude? Amplitude is less than 0 dB. Amplitude is stable between omega GC to omega PC, 10 radian to 50 radian per second. Okay, so this is how we are defining the system bandwidth. So what happens in the system bandwidth? In the system bandwidth, both the amplitude should be less than 0. So here between omega GC to omega PC, amplitude is less than 0, we are finding. And phase should be greater than 180. That is also we are finding. So here at omega GC, phase was minus 130. At omega PC, the phase has started going to low than minus 180. So what is there in between omega GC and omega PC? That is the sweet spot. Between omega GC and omega PC, you are finding both the amplitude and phase of the system, both are stable. So what is the operating frequency range of the system? It should be between omega GC to omega PC. This is what we have to find from Bode plot. One range of frequency where both amplitude and phase are stable. That is between that frequency range, 10 radian to 50 radian per second, we'll be finding that amplitude is less than 0 dB and phase is greater than 180 degree or minus 180 degree. So how much is the gain margin? Gain margin is calculated at omega PC. So at omega PC, you are finding system gain is minus 7 dB. और कितना gain डालोगे तो system instability में जाएगा, और 7 dB. So how much is the phase margin? Phase margin is called as 7 dB. That means whatever is the amplitude at or gain at phase omega PC, that much is less. It should be less. Okay, if it is already higher, that means system is unstable. But at omega PC, gain should be negative. This is first thing you have to understand for system to be stable. And at gain margin or gain crossover, the phase should be greater than minus 180. So remember this graph, at gain crossover, system phase should be greater than minus 180. And at phase crossover, the gain should be less than 0 dB. And how much less than 0 dB positive, that is called as gain margin, and how much phase is more than minus 180, that is called as phase margin. So for a system, if you are finding both this gain margin and phase margin positive, that means that system is stable. And omega gc to omega pc is the operating frequency range for that system, and we are designed actually. So first we have to design, first we have to find whenever we are designing a system, that which frequency range we want to operate it for. Any system you cannot design for any frequency range arbitrary. No, we have to check what is the input coming to the system, what input we want to magnify, what input we want to process. Suppose from 5 radian per second up to 50 radian per second. So in that case, we have to design this omega gc as 5 radian per second. We have to design the system components in such a way that omega gc should be 5 radian per second and omega pc should be 50 radian per second. To be more in the safe side, omega gc should be 3 radian per second, 5 से थोड़ा नीचे, and omega pc should be 60 radian per second, 50 से थोड़ा ऊपर. So if we decide that we want to magnify 5 to 50 radian per second, okay, we want to magnify a frequency 5 to 50 radian per second by a system, in that case you have to design omega gc as 3 radian per second and omega pc as 60 radian per second. So by that system, both 5 to 50 range will be perfectly stably magnified. So this is the first case where omega gc is less than omega pc. Second case, I'll just take 1 more minute time. If you just check here, what happens is here omega gc is greater and omega pc is less. Okay, so here you are finding that initially this is less or this is unstable. Initially you are finding this is omega pc and omega gc. So in this case you are finding that phase margin is negative, gain margin is also negative. So in this case system is unstable. Last case, omega gc is equal to omega pc. This is called as a critically stable system. That means system is stable only at a certain point or only at a certain frequency. And last one, it is inherently stable system. Inherently stable system means the phase does not cross minus 180. Okay, that means phase wise system is always stable, and you are finding omega gc, it is minus 140, that means phase margin is 40 degree, so system is always stable. But all these things we will be keep on discussing later on with different numericals, but you have to remember this graph. Okay, that is at omega gc gain crossover, system is becoming stable from unstable. At omega gc, how much is the phase? It is greater than minus 180. What happens in minus 180, less than minus 180, system phase becomes unstable. So here it is minus 130 means it is 50 degree more than instability. So तुम्हारे पास 50 का cushion है. Still, if you reduce the phase by minus 50, still your system will be stable. So how much is the cushion available with you? 50 degree. So that is called as a phase margin. So omega gc, phase should be greater than minus 180. Greater means minus 180 से greater means minus 30. And at phase crossover, the gain should be less than 0. So यहाँ पे कितना cushion है तुम्हारे पास? 7 dB का cushion है. Even if you increase the gain by 7 dB, then also the system will be stable. So for a system with positive gain margin, positive phase margin, system is perfectly stable. And what is the operating frequency? Best operating frequency, sweet spot, omega gc to omega pc. Between that you can run the system. So this note and the frequency response note, Bode plot, both I will post to you. Just have a go through. समझने की ज़्यादा कोशिश मत करो. I am there to explain the things to you, but just give a look through, and whatever